Hi guys, welcome to Hema's Home and Garden USA. Today is April 5th, 2021, 6 p.m. So I have been waiting all these days to put my summer season crops in my garden bed. So I totally lost my patience. I was waiting and waiting, and now I see that the temperatures are not going below 50 degrees from tomorrow onwards. So it is safe to put the plants in the ground, so that I don't have to worry about the frost anymore. So today is a perfect day, I decided. Tonight the temperature goes to 48 degrees Fahrenheit, and from tomorrow onwards the temperatures are going to be in 50s during the night and 70s and 80s during the daytime. So it's very safe to put the plants in the ground. So here you see all my tomato plants that are waiting to go into the ground. I started these tomato plants from seed on January 31st, 2021. Today is April 5th, 2021. It has been complete 2 months since these plants are growing. I even started keeping these tomato plants in sun whenever possible. So the plants are very well hardened off. Some of these plants have even started growing some buds. So if you can zoom in here, you can see the buds here. I am not sure if it is visible in the camera. Whenever you are planning to transplant your tomatoes in the garden, make sure you are doing it in the evening or early in the morning. I would suggest evening is the best time to transplant your seedlings into the garden beds, because even if there is any transplant shock, the plant will have enough time to recover from the shock, because during night time there will not be any harsh sun. So these plants are so much ready to go into the permanent place. So before I start planting these in the garden beds, I am going to add some Epsom salt and bone meal. During the month of February, I added lots and lots of vegetable peels and banana peels and onion and garlic peels in the garden bed. So I dug trenches like this and buried them in the garden bed with soil. I even buried lots and lots of eggshells in this garden bed. So February and March months will be enough to decompose all these vegetable peels, and the compost will be perfectly ready for spring planting. That was my plan. So I am hoping the soil is nice and rich by now. But so one more important thing to note is tomato plants need calcium and magnesium. So magnesium is abundantly available in Epsom salt. That is the reason you have to add Epsom salt. So you do not have compost to add before you plant your tomatoes. You can buy some organic calcium supplement for the plants, and you can mix it with soil. So most of the time when you add compost to your soil, you won't see, there is very little chance to have blossom end rot in tomatoes. The only one time I faced blossom end rot is during the time when I planted Roma tomatoes. For some reason Roma tomatoes are highly prone to blossom end rot. So blossom end rot is nothing but when you get the fruit, you see black rotten pot in the bottom of the fruit. So that way the fruit is spoiled and you cannot use it. Almost 50% of the fruit will be spoiled when you have blossom end rot. So now I am going to start planting my tomatoes. So so this much of Epsom salt I am going to add for each and every tomato plants, and the same amount of bone meal also. So let me start planting it. So when you are removing a tomato from a cup, make sure you put your 2 fingers like this around the stem of the tomato and do like this, and you can take the tomato plant like this. Let me remove this thing and plant it here. So plant it as deep as possible. So I am going to cover the tomato plant until here. Okay, let me finish planting all the tomato plants in this bed and come back to you. You know what? When I was doing this transplanting for the video, my son got so inspired by this, and he said he learned how to transplant a seedling into the garden bed, and he even came forward to do this. I was so glad. I was even surprised that he came forward to do this. So I immediately accepted and allowed him to do the transplanting. So here my son is transplanting. This is the first time he has come into the garden and he has volunteered to do some gardening. After transplanting all the tomato seedlings, I thoroughly watered the bed. So even though you may feel like you are watering too much, actually the water doesn't go deep enough to hydrate the roots. So make sure you are generously watering, because during the initial few days the tomato roots are not deep enough to go and search for water. So the tomato plants will be solely depending on the water you provide unless it is raining. So make sure you are watering deeply. I'll show how I trellis my tomatoes in my future videos. So subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon to watch my video updates. Thank you all for watching.